We are on the subject of toxic attachments. And last week we spoke about the fact that nobody calls their relating. Nobody calls the way they interact with themselves in their minds and in the world an attachment, because that in itself indicates that it is, to some degree, toxic, right? And for most people, if you say the word toxic, they go into the extremes, that it's like so poisoned and so bad for you. But anything, if I have a glass of water and I just put a drop of ink in it, you are not going to drink that water. Yeah? So imagine a glass of water with just a dot of blue ink or a pinch of salt. Immediately that water becomes undrinkable. Unless you're on a detox and you want salty water. Yeah. So you're going to choose to not drink it. It has a toxic effect. And you might just leave it there and you might like add another drop to it, etc. And in our bodies, we don't notice all of the drops that we're adding because it's the same behavior in different situations. So that's why I'm very deliberately calling it a toxic attachment. It's like I want to wake your mind up to the fact that this is poisonous. Whether you're doing it once a week or once a month or once a year, it is toxic and it adds itself to all of the other toxins. So like my alcoholic client was saying, all of those people, give him reason. They put him off the rails and then he drinks a lot. And I said, okay, you must drink as much as you like. I am helpless to change your behavior. I am helpless to keep you on the rails. Yeah, I am not the train driver. You are the train driver and you are the train. You have to keep you on the rails. You are helpless to determine all of those people standing on the platform, waiting for your train to come by. Those passengers that you are collecting as you go, you are helpless to control them. When you stop at the station, they get on, they get off. That's their story. You just manage the train and keep it on the rails. If you want to go off the rails regularly and binge drink, that's okay as well. You're going to die anyway, eventually. Maybe sooner rather than later with the drinking, but you're going to die. So you can suffer before you die or you can be fulfilled before you die. That's a choice. I don't care. Which one do you want? Oh, change me. So I said, okay, you know how to do a handstand. No. And then you'll have to learn how to do a handstand. Then you can do the handstand. And if I say, do you know how to do a handstand? Then you say yes. But if I'm sitting here now and saying, try to do a handstand, you're going to look at me and say, I don't know how, so I'm going to sit here anyway. I'm going to do nothing. You're going to make no effort to find a wall, lean up against it, stretch your body a little, get into discomfort and do the handstand. And he said, yeah. I said, it's easier to sit in the chair. Yes, it's easier. Well, then easier means you're dead sooner. That's okay. Why do you want to live longer when all these people are taking you off the rails and all you're doing is drink in response to it? Why do you want to live longer? So everybody can suffer more. No, I'm afraid of dying. And I thought, okay, if you're afraid of dying, then now that's another toxic attachment. So you are nothing but a series of toxic attachments, and the being afraid of dying is going to derail you into drinking so you can die sooner. We're all in catch-22. No, I'm sorry. I'm helpless. I can't change you. I can't change your mind. I can't change the way you treat yourself. I can't do any of that. I can talk till I'm blue in the face, and you'll still be drunk. You must go away now. And the minute I said that, he was like, no, I want to change. I can change. I must change. And I thought, what is wrong with the world? That I have to reject something for it to recognize that it has value. When I accept it, there is no value. When I reject it, suddenly it wants to prove that it has value. Can we go on mute, please, Tarika? And this is part of the toxic attachment that we are all running around in our heads with. Yeah? Every time we experience rejection, there's this challenge to prove that you are worthy. Because, of course, you're not worthy. We all agree, right? You're not worthy. Are we agreed? Catch-22 situation. Yeah, either you agree that you are not worthy, or you disagree and you say, I am worthy. And if you are worthy, then why does rejection have this toxic attachment, influence, and impact on you? Is it because you're saying I am worthy and you don't believe it, and you don't know it, and you're not living it, and then the impact comes around and you absorb it anyway? The brick wall is not standing there saying, I am a brick wall, and then letting you walk through it. It's being a brick wall. You're not going to walk through it. Not even under my tutelage are you going to walk through it. Not yet, anyway. Yeah. So here, in the head, where we've got all of these toxic attachments, we have to check, what do I actually believe? What do I actually know and therefore am living? What am I living inside out? This mask between you and the world is dissipated, right? Or is dissipating. So today's meditation is going to continue that whole toxic attachment, but I'm delighted to tell you, and I'm waiting for Anise to get on board here, I'm delighted to tell you that we have lots of help. Now you've seen me wax lyrical, it's on Facebook, so it's true. You've seen me wax lyrical about the fact that the sun has moved into Aquarius. And it might surprise you to know that my grieving has gone to a more profound depth. And I look fabulous, right? I have found joy in my grieving, which has been such like an abundance lesson for me. Anyway, this grieving process has taught me a lot of things about toxic attachments and letting them go. And then the sun moved into Aquarius, which is like my time. Now, only in my heaven will all of those fabulous planets that impact on the human chakras, because these are not collective planets. These are individual influence planets. Everything after Saturn is collective consciousness, right? Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, not Uranus, Uranus. Those are all collective consciousness planets. Here, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn impact on the individual consciousness and then on the collective consciousness, depending on what we do with it. And they are all sitting perfectly between January 20th and February 20th in the sun sign of Aquarius. You cannot get a bigger synchronicity than that, saying, wake up, people. It's time to be this fabulous, far-thinking, eccentric, visionary, humanitarian, truth and justice, freedom and liberty kind of sign. That's what us Aquarians are, right? And we're crazy with it. And everybody loves it anyway. They hate us, but they love us. So, somewhere in this game of this alignment of planets, I said, I'm selfish. What does it mean for me? And the heavens sort of said, we're just lined up in support. Anything you want to accomplish that creates transformation, now is the time. Mercury is the planet of communication. And so far it's been going backward, right? In terms of our perspective from the earth. And we really must lose this thing about Mercury retrograde being bad for us. It's perception. It's perspective. It only looks like it's going backward because of the way we are viewing it. If you were sitting on Mercury, you'd be saying, the earth has slowed down, it is going backward. Or some such thing. So Mercury is not going backward. It's moving forward as it should. It moves so fast around the earth that it regularly appears to be going backward. But no planet ever stops to go backward in the real heavens. Yeah, it's just our perception of it. And we must stop buying into that drama that when Mercury goes retrograde, all hell breaks loose. If we change the drama, we'll change the outcome. Yeah? Okay. So here's the planet of communication. And this planet, by the way, the icon of this planet is the chap who delivers flowers for Valentine's. He's the interflora icon. Just in case you needed to know that.
That's amazing.
Let's take the entertainment out of meditation and make it dull, make it boring, make it serious and heavy. Okay, yeah. Okay. Then we have Mars. Huh?
What is the interflora icon? are delivering from?
Yes. The speedy chap.
Yeah, he's speeding.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So then we have Mars, which is the next planet that's all beautifully aligned. And Mars is the yang planet, right? It's the warrior planet. Except in this particular sign, it doesn't call for you to get into big fights with everybody about miscommunications. Mercury. It calls for you to get into spiritual warriorship. I fight my inner demons. I fight my shadow self. I communicate inwardly. These planets are not aligned for you to change the world, except where the world exists in you. That's what this alignment is about. So Mercury says, I bring my yang energy to the fore in terms of standing in my truth, or rather Mars. I'm standing in my truth and I fight for it inside out so that I can live my truth. And there's Venus comes up and she informs all of that with the value base. She says, this is what I value as my truth. So the yang energy must back that up. Now we know that the women make the choices and the men follow through. That's how that planetary system works. Venus shines bright in the sky and sheds a little light on Mars, so we know he's there.
Did the men know that?
Venus, by the way, is the number 6. Mars is the number 9. You put them next to each other and you get a beautiful 69, right? That one you all got. Okay. Now the entertainment is beginning to make a little more sense. After this, where we have yin and yang coming into harmony with each other along this alignment, because Mercury is keeping them in communication and good dialogue with each other, we now have what we call a combined wisdom of yin and yang following through with Jupiter. Now Jupiter is the planet of wisdom, says, I bring my intuitive wisdom into harmony with what I experience outside. Because if all of creation is my teacher, it holds its own wisdom. So I use my inner wisdom and I use the external wisdom that is available here within myself, not only for myself, because the greatest wisdom of all is that I am always sharing, I am always communicating energetically, right? And this force of creation of yin and yang coming into harmony says I am always in tune with the universe, and even when I'm out of tune with the universe, I'm in tune with it and it's listening, right? Or it's tuned into me, even if I'm not tuned into it. You got that right? The universe is always tuned into you, even if you're not tuned into it. Yeah, it knows you're there. It knows what you're doing. It knows what you're not doing. Okay. It knows. All right. Well, you just accept that one. It knows. So now when we get to the wisdom of Jupiter, and I'm bringing these two together, I come face to face with the biggest planet of them all that runs rings around all of us. Now Saturn's always gotten a very bad rap because Saturn's the planet that we say is about Father Time, right? He adds stress and pressure in terms of I live in a dimension of time. But of course he brings us the opposite of that in the duality that says I am a timeless being, right? And he gives you a choice, a spectrum. Saturn comes with great upheaval, especially individually every 29 years. It says change. It's the planet of karma in terms of everything I have put into the universe, boomerangs at me, so I become my own teacher. And Saturn is known only too well as being that planet that every Hindu across the world must bow down to in order to get their destinies aligned with their higher selves. Yeah? If you please Saturn, Saturday prayers 7 times, 9 times, walk around the temple, say your pujas, you beg Saturn to align your destiny so that I, the soul, is happy. It takes all the kinks and obstacles out. That's what Saturn is for, right? The planet of destiny, fate, karma. So all my karmic debts must be cleared if I please Saturn. Here's news for you, Saturn doesn't care. Just like the sun doesn't care. And the moon doesn't care. The cosmos knows you exist as a combined consciousness, but not one of those planets gives a shit whether you're on Earth or not. You cannot please the planet. You just cannot. What you are doing when you're working with that energy and walking around the temple is saying to yourself, I am opening myself up to the variety of influences. I am becoming receptive to every ounce of support that is available. But the people who are walking around the temple thinking, oh, this is my 3rd Saturday, I've got 6 more Saturdays to go, or when can I eat meat again? Why must I do the salt-free diet? You know, their minds are running in a different consciousness, and they are not present in this temple, and they are not making God present in it. Then they have to do that 9 Saturdays again and again and again because Saturn's paying no attention. Nobody starts by saying to them, Saturn's paying no attention anyway. It's got too many moons to be worried about us. I gave it a call the other day. He said, who are you? I was like, how can you not know who I am? If you don't know who you are, how will I know, says Saturn. So here's the thing about all of these planets. They bring an energy to our lives. They influence. They do not determine. Free will says they cannot determine. They can provide support, whichever way you want to go. You want to slide into your shadow self? They'll support that, just like everything else on the planets. Right? All of the planets will do that. And you know, in like 20 years' time, they'll decide that these are not only the only planets, or that we've misnamed them planets, and they're actually just stars. They'll discover new information. So we can't fix them in our minds as anything. What we can see them as is energy systems that over the history of time and study have shown a particular influence. And that influence will change, is changing in terms of our understanding of ourselves and how we perceive the influence. So remember when the earth was flat and you're going to fall off the edge of it if you sail too far? Yeah. Now that perception changed. Yeah. When Galileo said the earth is round, everybody went, oh, heresy.
Yeah. Or that
Yeah.
the sun was the center.
Everybody, as time passes and we become more aware of who we are and how we influence an entire cosmos, our perception of that cosmos changes. The cosmos does not change. It changes at its own pace. It does its own thing. So the way we relate with it is up to us. We can see it energetically, and we can allow that energy, because it is natural, pure, non-egotistical, non-dualistic energy, to work for us. Yeah? We can see this alignment. I mean, all in a straight line. There's no missing this pathway. We can see that alignment as being a gift, and we can use it accordingly. And you can get up really in the morning to go see it in the heavens as well, or you can sleep through it and just absorb it. Whatever you do with it, it's up to you. Like everything else, it's up to you. When it comes to toxic attachments, however, it is a toxic attachment to attach yourself to the universe in such a way that it's supposed to clean up your mess. That's why we're harping on the understanding that the opportunity is there. Use it, don't use it, it's up to you. And that applies to almost everything in life. When somebody comes into your life, you have an opportunity to either love them or not. If you love them, good for you. Not them. If you don't love them, good for you. Not them. Got nothing to do with them. Yeah? But here in our heads, this attachment says, I've connected to you, so now you owe me something. Yeah. I mean, my clients do that all the time. They make an appointment, they sit down in the chair, and they go, I'm here, prove you're psychic. And I go in my head, fuck off. No, seriously, in my head, I'm going, fuck off. I don't play that game anymore. When I first started the center, up to like 5-6 years ago, maybe even until last year, I'd have been insisting on proving to any first client, I am psychic, let me prove to you that I'm psychic, then you'll believe all the other things that I have to say that are actually going to be meaningful in your life. I don't play that game anymore. I'm going to say what I need to say. If you find that it is meaningful for your life, good for you. If it's not meaningful for your life, pay me anyway and go home. Good for you. I can't get attached to whether or not you value what I'm saying. And I am so clear about how different it is from the egotistical days of being defensive about whether you believed I was psychic or not, to the days now where I'm going, I'm priceless. I'm priceless. And I'm not psychic, I'm spiritual. The being psychic is an instrument of that. So I'm going to use being psychic to tell you what you need to know in order to change your life. Change it or not, up to you. The whole universe is there to help you change it. You want to get rid of the toxins? The whole universe is there. You want to keep the toxins? The whole universe is still there. So change, as it is happening in the cosmos, and as it influences and impacts on you, is up to you. And because of these toxic attachments that we have in our minds, we are afraid of change. We are afraid to implement it. We're afraid to initiate it. We're afraid to even manage it. And the place we are most afraid to do that is in our heads. Every spiritual teacher through time immemorial has said, change your mind and you'll change your life. Yeah? Wayne Dyer was the one who made it so succinct. Literally, that was his phrase. Change your mind, you'll change your life. And we know that one down pat now. It's part of our belief system, except we don't believe it. We don't believe it. Just like when I say, are you valuable? Do you have worth in the world? Yes. So why does rejection worry you? If somebody says, no, I don't like you, can't you say thank you, bless you, and then go be who you are anyway? Don't like your nose, it's too long. Okay. Is it long enough to poke itself into your business? There we go. Yeah. You're too fat, you're too thin, you're too loudmouth, you're too difficult. I've heard all these things. And there were days where they'd like be really hurtful because of this toxic attachment to what other people's minds are doing. And other people's minds must not be minded. But this attachment in our heads that says, I must be worthy as per my participation in a group. I must be worthy as per my belonging somewhere. These are all base chakra issues. Yeah? They tamper with our divinity, right? Even the being spiritual, I must be worthy in the spiritual sense. Yeah? I'm a spiritual snob. Except I'm learning to not be that now. I got clapped about that. The spiritual snob says, oh, people, there's low vibration, I don't want to deal with it. And they go, you are born to deal with every vibration, and the majority of the souls on the planet right now are in human chakra vibration. Suck it up, deal with it. I'm going, oh, okay. Start from scratch. Work with the base chakra all over again. Do the work. You cannot live in the crown chakra and forget that the base chakra exists, right? So you go to meditation one evening and you have ecstasy there, and you have sex the next evening and you have ecstasy there. Not the drug, the bliss. It's terrible. But this combination is the tantric combination. And in between, from one chakra to the next, you will discover for yourself what your toxic attachments are. So when we say a full life, a holistic life, it means I'm living all of my chakras from base to crown within myself, and then I connect that to earth and heaven in terms of the earth star and the soul star. Yeah. But if you're not doing that inside of you, you can't do that outside of you.
Can I interrupt? Can I ask questions while we do?
No.
Oh, after.
Questions later. Before meditation, no questions. Rule. Where was I?
Talking about the different chakras and
Living through them.
Okay. So this evolution, I wasn't there. I was on sex, actually.
okay.
Okay, that's quite interesting.
The ecstasy.
I wasn't having an orgasm yet. Oh, I was on ecstasy and bliss. Yes, that's where I was. I was on ecstasy and bliss. Everybody falls out of meditation when I start talking about sex. This is really worrying. Anyway. Now, if you look at all of these issues from chakra to chakra, right? And we've done this so many times. I mean, we've done the power of scorpions with Isis. We've done cleansing meditations. We've done in-depth chakra meditations. Every one of them holds a series of attachments. So you don't even have to think twice about what are my attachments. We know that down pat, and we all have the same ones. We all have exactly the same attachments because we're not that different from each other. We all fit into Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's it. You're not unique, you're not special, you're not extraordinary. Same toxic attachments. How we choose to change them, how we choose to harness the energy of the universe, how much energy we are willing to invest in ourselves, and the commitment to changing that is up to us. So this whole thing about being a light in the universe and going to the profound depths of self, even as you are expanding the profound heights of the universe, is a personal choice. So you can come to meditation and not practice meditation all week and be entertained and not learn and not grow and not actually change those attachments. Or you can practice meditation during the week in any form, including the one that I put a great deal of energy of sending to Dropbox so that you have it within easy access of your mind and your fingertips every day of the week until you come back. That's work for me. And it's disrespectful if you don't use my work well. That's it. And now I'm feeling disrespected. I'm feeling so disrespected. It's such a toxic thing. Really. I wasn't attached to that one. I didn't care. Okay. I don't care. Use it, don't use it. Sit here pretending to be spiritual and going nowhere while the rest of us leave you behind. That's okay. You wake up one day and we won't be here. And you wonder what happened, and then you'll backtrack and you'll go and do all that work all over again. Or you'll die and you'll come back next lifetime and you'll be looking for me on YouTube and I won't be there. This is the thing about timing and momentum. The universe literally moves at its own pace. Now when Paddy used to run around the park, I used to run behind her. Right? I never once had to say to the dog, quick trot, because I was going slow down. So I learned that universe moves at its own pace, I must catch up. Then when she slowed down, I was saying, come now, quick trot, and she was saying, don't rush me, Granny, the cosmos moves at its own pace. So I had to slow down in order to accommodate that. And in the slowing down, my spiritual life got deeper. It got better. So all the rushing around in the universe, I didn't learn a great deal except that I couldn't keep up with the dog. But when I had to slow down and keep up with her and see where I was going and listen to what was going on and recognize that there was a particular pace, only that specific pace that we could move at today, I had to learn patience. And I'm still learning that one. It's a harsh lesson for me because I'm always so ready to move off track. But this is the thing. This patience with an entire cosmos that influences, provides, supports, answers your soul's yearning before even you recognize that you have that yearning, takes patience. It takes that inner work that says, slow down, wait, allow, detoxify. Don't let that brain agitate you into flying ahead, whether you're with Tash or not, and come back here. Because while you're flying over there, the universe has provided over here. And you're over there. You know, you're up in the clouds, you're gone in your head, you're fragmented in so many ways, and attached to so many things there, that whatever it is providing here, you've missed it. And that's what Paddy means by if you don't have this moment now, there's no later. There's no later. The moments are all connected to each other. And if you fragment your life that way, by flying from this moment to that moment to that moment, there's no continuity. There's no continuum within yourself, which is exactly how all of your chakras connect to each other, on a continuum. It's how the planets connect to each other, on a continuum. The only thing that gets in the way of all of that is your toxic attachment. We could have said that at the beginning of the discussion, right? But if I said that at the beginning, then you would have had to take 5 minutes to think about it. Now I told you what to think. Which doesn't make life simpler for anybody.